Did you know goldenrod makes an excellent tea?
Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, dear Aaron.
Me. You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity.
Or what's inside. You suck. Finally, we're going to reveal the... Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Tomic's... veteran of the comic book industry for 30 years, of a writer, of an artist, and this sucks.
She cooks nothing but chuck wagons, stew, and her name is Minerva. Ouch! She's the flower of the coward coach.
Don't start! We haven't left yet!
Welcome, everybody. It's once again time for Aaron Live. I'm Aaron, and thankfully, I am still alive. This marks the final episode of Aaron Live, because next week it becomes Comics, Cryptids, and Cannonballs. So it's the same show, but with a different name in hopes of expanding my audience. And we will see, as I'm sure you all probably figured out by now, it won't make a bit of difference, but it'll be nice to call it something different once in a while. And the way to end Aaron Live is on Frazetta. Today marks the 100th day of a Frazetta image. So we're not doing one image. We're doing a multitude of images, but that's still not enough, because I had to bring in Frazetta experts to talk about this show, and guys that were influenced by Frank as much as I was, and maybe even more so. No, I didn't bring in Sarah Frazetta. I know you're all like, Sarah Frazetta? No. Just guys that you've seen hang around me quite a bit in the past, and we're going to keep doing it today, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, I'll bring them in as they arrived. And the first guy is a guy who's he's older than me, and he remembers Frazetta even more clearly than I do. We have many, we have at least one Frazetta story that we had a shared experience with. That, but let me bring him in. Please welcome Gary Martin.
Hello, Gary. Aaron. I have the thought for the day.
Really? Okay.
Yes. So, Aaron, always remember that you are unique, just like everyone else.
Wow, it really makes me feel special, Gary. I thank you for that. Now, I've often argued that, Frazetta was, when you talk to any artist and you say, who is your inspiration? Everybody from our generation is going to say Frazetta. But this guy carries it a little bit too far. And he's also a big Wrightson fan, which I am as well. So what's not to like? Please welcome our other graybeard that's joining us today. It's Dan Lawless. Hey, Dan.
Frazetta forever.
Dude, the worst, at least you could have done was to get like a real sword, or at least a real fake sword. He's using his T-square to threaten us with the...
I measured how far goes into the person, but these measurement tools here.
You can measure how far you stick.
I've got a 10. I went to 11. Yeah.
Well, I did.
You guys behave yourselves today. Don't insult Frazetta.
I did this when I hit 100 rights and images. I can't remember if I had you guys on or not. I may have. I can't remember. But now we're doing it with Frazetta, the guy that really started it all. And I'm throwing everything out for this episode that I normally do, and we're just going to focus on Frank. And I pulled up a ton of images that I consider some of my favorites. I hope you guys have done some as well. And then we'll just bring it up. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about his career, and we'll see where it leads, because there's obviously plenty of great art and great stories that involve Frank. Dan apparently has run away, but we're hoping he'll return at some point. Let me begin this by saying hi to a few people in the chat, as I always do. It's my trademark, Gary, to let the people in the chat know that they matter.
Well, they're part of the show.
That's right. Coram is here. He says, finally, Frazetta, can't wait to see epic art. Christar is here. Robert the Bruce. When was the last time we saw Robert the Bruce hanging around? It's been a while. Creative Faye is here. She says, hi, Aaron. I finally started your birthday present. I sent you a preview of the work in progress on Instagram. So that means I'll get it by my next birthday. Thank you for thinking ahead, Creative Faye. I appreciate it. Her on the Steadfast is here. Randy Howell, all the way from Canada. Stealth X5. Pantheon. Best Age Comics says, hello, Aaron. Looking forward to Barbaric next month. Yes, so are all of us. If I could just get these damn Wraith of God books shipped out, I could turn my focus to that.
Isn't that weird that when you're at this point shipping, that there's absolutely nothing else you can even think about?
It's just consuming like you would not believe.
My backwards are making sure I'm not backwards.
No, that is correct.
That's correct.
We're reading it. Yeah, you are facing the right direction.
Okay.
Let's see here. Lord Hinson Comicsgator says, this is going to be a memorable stream. I got fantastic paintings of Frazetta for Christmas. Love it. Pity Maw's here. Eric Boyd, Matthew Muma, what am I saying? Stealth X5 for $2 says hello in his usual fashion. We appreciate that. Thank you for the $2. And the great thing about the super chats on this show, I don't have to share it with you guys. So, and I was just doing some math.
What?
Gary's gone. Gary's gone. See, he's like, goodbye. No, he's there. He is. All right.
Oh, Dan moved up.
Well, it makes me uncomfortable. I'm so used to guys being in certain positions that it makes me, I can't, Dan has to be on the bottom. Like he's the anchor. Like we're sitting on his head.
No, Gary needs to be punished because he spoke out.
Well, I kicked him out.
He spoke out against the communist government. He's not one of the people.
Yes, demoted until I redeem myself.
Marcus Killigrew is finally back.
Okay.
My dad broke his leg and is in rehab.
Oh.
I thought he had was it a hip fracture or something? But anyway, it doesn't.
Well, hold on a second. He broke his leg and he's an alcoholic?
No, Gary. They have physical rehabilitation centers.
Okay.
Eric Boyd is here.
So was he drunk when he broke his leg?
No, only Marcus can tell us that.
Oh, okay.
Jeff Potts says Aaron is special in quotes. Let's see who else we got.
You
here.
can make anything an insult if you put it in quotes.
I know. Slacker.
No. Shit.
What's that?
David. He's got computer problems.
Well, is that a shock to anybody? Leg Kick is here because Leg Kick is almost always here. And the thing is, Leg Kick, I finally packaged your book today. You should have got an email notification because I spit out the label and there's Man Bat. Yo, bro, hope you and the Mighty Chat are well. Sadly, not going to make it to Graybeards this week. Need to get computer fixed. Not going to make it to Graybeards this week.
What do you mean computer fix? Your computer isn't that old.
Is he talking about this Graybeard session or the Graybeards in Wednesday?
I think he's talking about Wednesday. I'm going to have to get a guest in to fill in for him then. You guys know any other black artists we can get? I know just the guy.
Yeah.
Um,
We haven't seen
let's-
Kaiser. Well, bring him in. See if he'll join us.
who?
Kaiser Sose.
I will. That's who I'm going to call out. Michelle Bowers is here with sword in hand. Colonel Zaid is joining us. Let's see who else we got. Gollum Wolf, and I think that's everybody. Andy Dalloff also joining us, and Paul Taylor, our resident biologist, is sticking his head in here to see what's going on. So we appreciate all you guys as we talk about the great, the one and only, the fantastic Frank Frazetta, who interestingly
Aaron, sorry to interrupt. I just realized I don't have any responsibilities.
You have none, but
we don't either.
If you see something in the chat that you feel like commenting on, please feel free to do it. But you're not obligated to do anything.
So
this show is all on me.
Yeah. So moving forward, this particular show, I have no fault because I have no responsibility.
It's all on me.
Right.
It's all on me.
No,
all right.
I'm going to still blame us. I don't see why you can't blame us still.
We'll see how the show goes, Dan. Blame starts flying quickly around here.
Aaron blaming us goes without saying.
Yeah, exactly. You don't even have to mention that.
Yeah. Get a couple extra people on the show you can blame.
I'm going to read a little biography intro on Frank to give people a little background, and then we're just going to get into it and kind of go where we're going to go. He was born in February 9th, 1928. So he was actually 3 years older than my mother, who's still with us, thank God. Of course, he was an American artist known for themes of fantasy and science fiction, and also did some comic book work. But mostly we know him for his paperback cover work, which really sort of made him a star. And we'll get into that. Interesting that a guy of his immense talent, like a lot of people, took him a little time to get traction. And it wasn't until he started doing paperback covers that he blew up and became the Frazetta that we know and love, even though he did some remarkable work in comics. Anyway, he was inducted into the comic book industry's Will Eisner Comic Book Hall of Fame, the Jack Kirby Hall of Fame, Society of Illustrators Hall of Fame, the Science Fiction Hall of Fame, and is awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award from the World Fantasy Convention.
I was thinking before you continue, see, it's not, I can't be blamed for interrupting you.
Okay. Even though you just did.
Frazetta was at the top of his world as a comic book artist. He had achieved that pinnacle before he started, really painting and becoming known as a painter. But the comic book world is a small pond.
As we all know.
Yeah. But even back then, it was a small pond. But he was the man. Everybody knew he was the man. There was no question. I mean, it wasn't like him and a bunch of other guys. It was him.
Yes. At least in the 50s, when the 50s rolled around and EC Comics and there was romance and things like that, comics that he worked on, everybody was like, this guy is next level. And it is true. Now, he was born in Brooklyn, an Italian American. So I support that wholeheartedly, me being an Italian American myself. Actually, I'm just an American with some Italian blood, but whatever. At age 8, and we all know this story, he attended the Brooklyn Academy of Fine Arts, a small art school run by Italian instructor Michele Falangia. Now, of course, Frazetta said in 1994, this is such a great Frazetta quote. He didn't teach me anything, really, Frazetta said.
And he was 8 years old when he attended the school?
Yeah. And he'd come and see what I was working on. And he might say, very nice, but perhaps if you did this or that. But that's about it. We never had any great conversations. He spoke very broken English. He kind of left you on your own. I learned more from my friends there than I did him.
You know what, though? That's not unusual for an art school, really. I mean, when taking drawing classes, you kind of got to teach yourself.
Yeah, I had art teachers like that they just, they knew they had a cushy gig and they milked it.
Well, it's funny because he gets this guy, Falangia, or whatever is how you pronounce his name, Falangia. gets a lot of credit for like shaping Frazetta as a youth, you know, when you hear the stories and stuff. But then you got Frank here just going, the guy was a bum. I did it myself.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
is
you
the
know,
funny
the whole
thing
thing, the art school, you're in art school, you're around other artists. That's what it does sort of shape you if they don't ruin you, you know. It's
well, we're all sort of, and
inspires
comic
you.
book artists especially are very much self-taught for the most part.
Yes.
And I remember taking like painting classes and stuff at USC while I was in film school because I still wanted to stay connected to art. And I took this one class that was painting, and it was being taught by a fine arts graduate student. And I learned nothing from the guy because, I mean, fine arts is not a thing. It's like paint
No.
what you feel. They give you zero commercial direction. So I would go in and I was working on a self-portrait. That was the assignment. And mine was fairly realistic approach. I wasn't, you know, doing like a fine arts kind of Picasso thing. And he would come over and go, "Oh yeah, that looks really good." And then, you know, I got nothing from the guy.
Yeah, I took a drawing class in college, and it was the same kind of thing. He would come over and look at what I was doing. Oh, that's very interesting. And then he would wander off.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing a specialization that he didn't know anything about. The way he taught is like he was going to do a crow quill a demonstration. So he took out this big pad and he started drawing with a dip pen crow quill with no pencils. So it was, you know, very loose and kind of thing. And he says, what's cool about a crow quill is that you can make mistakes and just like work it in the composition. So he takes his crow quill and flicks it at the paper, and gobs of ink splash down on the drawing. And then he just starts working, you know, smearing it around, and it completely changes what he was doing. He's like, you see, I mean, don't be afraid. It's like, how does that help me? And I'm trying to be, you know, every line matters, and you're throwing, you know, it's like you're sneezing on the canvas and saying it's art.
Well, there's such a difference between commercial art is actual instruction with guidelines and things that you have to achieve to be able to become a commercial artist, where fine arts is just pure expression and what are you trying to say. And there can be successful fine art. I mean, I rip on fine art a lot, but there can be successful fine art, but there's a lot of garbage out there too. And all right, let's buzz through this and we can get into the Frazetta stuff. In 1944, at age 16, this is what's kind of impressive to me. Frazetta, who had always had his urge to be doing comic books, began working at comic artist Bernard Bailey's studio doing pencil cleanups at 16. That's like a David Williams kind of thing.
I would have loved to have done that.
Oh, can you imagine the
Bernard Bailey?
Can you imagine like being in New York at that time, trying to be an artist and like, you know, helping Wally Wood or helping Frazetta or help,
oh my gosh,
you know, or you know, Rockwell needs an assistant. You're like, oh, you know, I mean,
yeah, I wasn't aware of Bernard Bailey just until a few years ago that I was asked to do a commission of a recreation of some of his horror covers. That guy was amazing.
Oh yeah, like all these guys back then were just, even the worst of the Golden Age illustrators were still just really good. They just didn't have as much personality as some of the other guys drawing, but they were all technically really, really good artists. His first comic book work was inking an 8-page story called Snowman, which was penciled by John Giunta in Tally-Ho Comics, 1944. Blah, blah, blah. Let's get to the good stuff.
So how old was he when he...
I believe he was 16, I believe. It was
16.
Yeah, 1944. He was 16 years old. He inked that Snowman story, which if you look for it, you can find it on Google. Just Google Frazetta Snowman. It'll come up.
And there's a comic art of Frank Frazetta book out there that includes that Snowman. So yeah, it's out there.
In a 1991 interview of the Comics Journal, Frazetta credited Graham Ingalls, who you may know as EC's Old Witch artist, as the first one in the comic book industry to recognize his talent and to give him jobs at Standard Comics in 1947, which would have made him 19 years old. He worked for Dell's Famous Funnies, where he did war and human interest stories for Heroic Comics, Personal Love, Movie Love. His romance comics, if you guys have not seen them, are remarkable.
Yeah.
Probably his best comic book work.
Oh, by the way, I've got everything. I've got everything categorized. If you need it, bring it up. I've got all the line art separated. I've got all the paintings, and just so if you know, yeah, I got anything you want to see. Let me know.
Dan is ready.
I am freaking ready, man. I got stuff. I got show and tell.
Aaron, please, as soon as you're done reading this, ask Dan to bring something up, because he's going to bust.
I know. He just can't wait. I will let you actually bring up the first image, Dan, that you want to talk about. But
well, there's a guy who just said something that this looks like Lord of Brooklyn, Burger King for life. 146 says Frazetta smokes Vallejo, Boris Vallejo.
He does. Although, if you look at Boris's work in the 70s,
yeah, the first stuff was great.
It's fantastic.
When he started using photo reference and shooting real people, it looked like someone working at the Kroger or something, someone down the street. Yep. It didn't look like the fantasy anymore. All of a sudden, it looked like people, real people, like like an AI version or something.
Like his Monsters Unleashed covers, or even some of his Savage Sword of Conan covers. You take a look at like a couple of particular ones, the Gore series, John Norman's Gore trade paperbacks. The covers of Gore are fantastic. Awesome. I Am a Barbarian is a freaking awesome cover. It's a Edgar Rice Burroughs. But then he got it into the 80s, and it just became this sort of stilted, tracing photographs and painting them just so he could churn out the work faster, and it lost all of its personality and interesting stuff. So
yeah, I prefer his pen and ink and watercolor stuff.
Yeah, that's really great too. Let me take a couple super chats real quick here. Paul Taylor for $10 Canadian. Thank you, Paul. Hail panel and chat. Just finished reading Wraith 3 and it's very good. Another project well worth funding. Looking forward to the next one. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. Gollum Wolf for $4.99. What is the first Frazetta piece you remember seeing? Mine was Death Dealer 2, which is still my personal favorite of his. That's an excellent question. And you guys think about that for a minute, and let me finish doing this, and then we'll get into it. In 1961, after nearly 7 years with Al Cap, where some people know this, some people don't. He drew Little Abner for Al Cap for 7 years. He wanted a raise. Al Cap wouldn't give it to him, so he quit. And
it's easy to tell the ones that he worked on. I mean, you look at Al Cap stuff, and then you look at Frank stuff, and it's like, wow, Cap just suddenly got really good.
Yeah, it's his Frazetta. The stuff he did there was really, really good. And that was the dream. We've talked about this before. The dream back then was to get on a newspaper strip because that's where the money was.
Right.
And
well, especially back then.
Yes.
Back then, newspaper cartoonists were like movie stars.
Exactly. I mean, Al Cap was a household name.
Yeah.
And
he tried to seduce Goldie Hawn.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Hey, I draw Little Abner. I don't know if that would fly like that today, but I remember a story someone telling me where
break out laughing.
I think they were going to a restaurant. I don't know if this is true or not. So Mark, forgive me if it's not true, but it's such a good story. Mark Waid apparently was trying to get into a restaurant. They didn't have a table or whatever. And he said, "Do you know who I am? I wrote Kingdom Come." And the chick's like, "What does that mean?" I don't know if that's a true story, but I certainly hope it is because it's so good.
It's funny that, talk about being big fish in a small pond, as we start fooling ourselves to thinking that the pond is much bigger than it really is.
Yes. You go right outside that little drip of water and you say, they have no idea who you are or what you're even talking about when you talk about comics. So
what cracks me up is artists and writers who try to pull that within the realm. I saw Joe Rubenstein use that line to get into a panel that he wanted to watch, and there was a long line, and he just walked right up to the front and tried to get in without waiting, and the girl gatekeeper, wouldn't let him in, and I heard him say, "Don't you know who I am?" And I just busted out laughing. She sent him to the back of the line.
Man,
she didn't know who Joe Rubenstein was.
I never want those words to come out of my mouth. Don't you know who I am?
Yeah, I say that at Taco Bell all the time, and it doesn't.
Yeah. It doesn't.
Never works.
Nobody cares.
I'm going to try that just to see if I can fool people. Don't you know who I am? Yes. Get out of my way.
So as the story goes, Frazetta, he dumped the Al Cap job because he wanted to raise and didn't get it. Then he tried to get back into comics. And if you can believe this, he couldn't get any work because they felt his style was antiquated. If you can believe that. But this was now the era of Carmen Infantino and Gil Kane and Kirby. And, Frazetta was this, he should have been drawn Prince Valiant, not Superman. And
well, no, Aaron, they said that about his paintings too. They said, "Oh, your colors aren't vibrant enough." And he said, well, my colors, they'll stand out because they aren't. They're more, they have a nicer color palette and that sort of thing. It's not so, because back then, remember you did like a pink and a blue and they would throw all these crazy, psychedelic colors on these covers to try to get you to see it. And he just said, "No, I'm going to do this." And he was right. He's a good color palette is better, more attractive.
Well, yeah, I mean, they use color on the covers to cry out, "By me, by me." It had nothing to do with the storytelling or the piece itself, the art itself.
The beauty.
It was all, pick me up. I'm brighter than that one.
Yeah, Frank brought real.
And they use that. They use that business model for years and years. I remember an editor at Dark Horse Comics telling me, "Oh, you need to brighten up. This is like," so it'll scream off the stands. Remember that Brian Boland cover that was black and white? There was no color on it at all. It was printed in black and white. And I walked into a comic shop, and that's the one that I saw.
Yep. Well, Frank, as the story goes, that he was buddies with I just had his name and I just lost it. Who was the guy that never finished anything? The most famous Krinkle.
Oh, Krinkle.
And Krinkle had some paperback jobs, and he threw some Frank's way, and the rest is, as they say, history.
So he was just helping out another painter.
Yes, and Frank's career exploded. All right. So have you guys thought of is there a favorite Frank Frazetta image of yours was the question. And it was a super chat question, so we should honor it. And it's an excellent question. I've got a bunch of images here. I'm trying to think. Actually, I know the answer to this because it's always, and I've revealed this before. I'll start. If I had all the money in the world, which I clearly don't.
If I was king of the world.
That's right. If I were a rich man, I would buy this painting.
Really?
This is, and this is the only that I'm aware of, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is his only award-winning book cover. He won the Saturn Award or whatever they give for science fiction for this cover, which is Back to the Stone Age, Edgar Rice Burroughs. And I remember seeing this cover as a wee lad in grade school. And I was just so, it just blew me away. I bought the book and read the whole thing, and it's funny how you never judge a book by its cover. I wouldn't have bought I would not have purchased any of Edgar Rice Burroughs' books if Frazetta hadn't been on the cover. I can tell you that right now. And this was just such a powerful image. And yeah, it's got a naked butt of a dude on there, but it's still like the motion in the guy's hair and the figure work and that giant.
Well, just plus the cojones on this guy taking on this mastodon with just a spear.
Yeah, and naked. It's like gird up your loins or something.
Yeah,
Look at those
vines. Armor of God.
Yeah, how many sticker bushes do you think are in that mire there that he's wading through?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, that's the
But that to me, that's always been in fact, I've got a print of it. One of those old Frazetta prints you used to be able to get hanging up there on my wall. I just love this piece. And when you remember when Frazetta did that gallery showing, I think it was 1990, 91, somewhere in that, it had the picture of the girl looking at the moon on the book that the gallery book that was for the show. That was for sale there for $500,000. You think you could get this for $500,000 now? This would probably be in the $10 million range, considering what Queen of Egypt, was it Princess of Egypt, I guess, went for. That was like $9 million, I think that went for. Crazy, man. So there you go. That's my answer. Gary, do you have a favorite?
Absolutely. Probably the first Frazetta I ever saw was my older cousin's house. He had some Conan paperbacks.
Mm-hmm. Dan, get ready to pull it up. Gary, do you have it?
Frost Giants.
Oh, that was going to be mine. Oh my gosh, you took my.
Okay, well, let's bring it up, and you guys can both. We can both.
Yeah, I've got the same. Yep, that's it. I've got the same print, probably hanging up above my Skyboy neon sign.
That's so funny because look at, he's got the book. I've got that book too. You know.
Yeah.
I got the older version of that book. That's like
so my cousin had this one and a couple others, the iconic Conan cover where he's standing on top of the bodies holding a sword. And then he also had Brack the Barbarian.
Yes.
And those are kind of lesser known Frazetta works,
but I think
they're just as good as this Conan stuff.
As much as I like this painting and I do love it, it didn't even make my top 10.
But I mean, there's
how brilliant his stuff is.
I tell you, mine changes.
It's
like sometimes.
Okay, one at a time, gentlemen.
Go ahead,
Gary, finish up and then Dan jump in.
Oh, Dan I can tell he's itching to say something. Go ahead, Dan.
I was just going to say mine changes all the time. Like this is my favorite probably overall, but sometimes I go, no, I like this other one. You know what I'm saying? There's a number of them that could be my favorites.
Well, probably because this was it would be the same category as what you just said, but it was I think it was the first one I ever saw.
It's usually the first one you see is the one that leaves this lasting impression because it's the one that turned you on to his work.
But there's just so much going on here. I love the warms and the cools, just how vibrant the flesh tones are. I love that. And there's some, Norman Rockwell storytelling going on here.
Yes.
That, the Redbeard is about to drop his axe because you see the little trickle of blood on the snow that Conan has made contact with that. And look how much blood is on that sword. So that's took a 6-inch chunk out of his neck. There's just a lot going on here, and the textures and the detail of how he put these, Viking type giants, Norse giants together, different helmets, different armor, different weapons. It's probably one of my first recreations I ever did, probably when I was around, I don't know, 20. I did it with colored pencils, and I gave it away to a friend. I wish I still had it.
His armor was all made up, but it was so believable, and it was always so ornate.
Right. But just very believable. But it had a design sense to it that a lot of Conan artists have failed to bring to their work.
Yes, myself included.
And that's something that Dan has not dropped the ball on that. When he draws barbarians, his armor and weapons are always has that likability quality to it because he's you tell it, he's put some thought into it.
What is this?
This is a recreation I did with my color pencil technique, and I did it for a friend of mine, and he framed it in this really unique way. He's a real kind of industrial kind of bike guy.
So you also did a color pencil recreation of this one.
That's cool.
Very cool.
So it's not quite as good as the original, but I tried.
Well, you know, that's awesome though. I love the colors you get. Your colored pencil technique on that frosty paper or whatever it is
yeah.
really.
And do you have any of those Brack the Barbarian paintings?
I don't think so.
You just said you had everything, and now you don't have that.
I'm trying. Well, tell me. I don't have them. Like, I mean, may have a picture of them. I mean, you know, online, but I don't. I mean, I've seen them.
He
but I
did.
don't have
What
that.
was it, Aaron? 2 or 3 of those?
There's actually, I think there's a couple that are questionable whether or not it's actually Brack or not, because there's more than 3. We can.
Well, now I want to see them. So
there was at least 2 that were published.
I thought I've seen everything. So
and they just look like, you know, they're like Conan paintings. Only he's blonde.
Right. Here we go. Let's see. Okay, this
the one with the wizard and stuff like that. That one where he's not those guys are falling that bridge.
A lot of time. Well, here's. Let me show you one right here. A lot of times, the Brack the Barbarian ones were from behind, right? So you never really.
Yeah, we don't really know what it looks like.
There's one.
Oh yeah, of course I know that one.
Yeah, the blonde braided ponytail. And I think
didn't even notice that it was.
And there's another one where he's more blonde than this.
Oh yeah, there's a ton. I mean, not a ton, but there's several.
There's a couple more, yeah.
Let me see what else I can dig up here while we ogle at that. There's one where he's fighting that. Gun it. I put in Brack the Barbarian, and all they're showing me is Conan.
Yeah. Course.
Maybe I'll take.
But, I mean, it's weird how his Brack stuff is lesser known.
Well, who's the author? John Jakes, I think, was the author on those.
I don't remember.
There you go. So you don't even know who the author was.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not going to do it. So I have to. That's Brack the Barbarian versus the Sorceress. What a great name for a book.
Yeah. It sounds like an Italian Hercules movie.
There's one where there's a wizard with a red cloak and he's in this gnarly tree. And
that one, that's one of my favorites. That actually, when you talk about favorites Frazettas, that's the one that challenges it sometimes. I love that one.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And that was a Brack. And I think this one is here. Maybe I'm pretty sure this is, but maybe I'm wrong. Let me bring this up. I remember this one as a kid because I ripped off the.
I've got the one with the tree right there.
Oh, do you? Okay, hang on a second here. Let me get back here. Yeah, there it is. There's another one where he's wrapped up with a snake or something.
Right.
Around his face. That's another one.
Yeah.
But look at that tree. I mean, how many times I'll speak for myself. How many times have I ripped off that sort of Frazetta tree?
Yeah.
You know, that gnarly sort of meaty, almost alive. I mean, that's, if you look at my jungle stuff, which you're going to see in Barbaric Adventures, that you'll see the Frazetta all over the place.
And what I love too about that piece is the colors. It's such a warm, rich. Let me get rid of this one here. Warm, rich browns and the oranges of the it's just the color palette is just as good as it can be. It's just,
and Frazetta always did. If you look at the red. That's actually kind of a Chinese orange, isn't it?
Yeah, it's orange. Yeah.
The guy's. That's another Brack right there.
Yeah. Okay. But that one's like repainted, I think. Because it's more modern.
He did that a lot. He repainted his own work.
And then there's another one where he's, I think, another sorceress that he's.
Well, hang on a second. I'm going to show you one in a second, but I want to point out, if you look at the red in this sorcerer's coat, look at it, shows up in the tree, in different parts in the tree. Of course, the blood on his blade is the same color. You get
What caught my eye was the mossy green. And Frazetta usually put moss on his trees.
Right.
Even if it was black and white, he would illustrate moss on his trees. And you
I do that
see
all the time.
guys that emulate Frazetta now, like Stout and Schultz and guys like that. They do that too.
Yeah, and look at that green color on his rib cage.
Yeah, that was my point, is that he doesn't just use it on the tree. You look around and it's all over the place. It's on brack. The same green color is on brack. And it's like, you look at us and it's like, wait a minute, why is that green? You don't think that. It's just him carrying it, continuing their color.
I mean, all artists do that and attempt to harmonize the colors, but he did it so brazenly that, you know, it wasn't subtle at all at times with him. And, but we just accepted it as, you know, his thing.
Is that another one you're talking about?
No, he's in like a chamber or something. There's like some pillars behind him. You can actually see him from the front, his face, and he's wrapped up with some snake or serpent or something.
Oh, I think I know. Yeah.
Let me share this one with you guys. Now, see, I don't know if that's technically a brack, but it kind of looks like it is. But I love this guy, this like specter in the green.
Yeah.
I actually ripped that off, this guy, for another piece I did when I was in junior high.
I don't even have a number that can come to mind of how many times I've swiped Frazetta poses. Or limbs, you know, like a Frazetta arm, you know, that kind of thing.
Okay, so let's get this back to organized, sort of. So Gary, you brought this up. So what do you want to talk about here on these?
I was so mesmerized by his paintings that when I started following Frazetta and buying his art books and that kind of thing, I did it for his paintings. It wasn't until I became a professional artist and was inking professionally that I started seeing high quality images of his ink work, his cartoon work. And probably the reason for that is most of the stuff that I saw of his comic art was reproduced badly. And so you can't really appreciate it in its print form. But when you see good reproductions or actually own an original or looking at an original of his ink work, it's beyond, in my opinion, his ink work was beyond what anyone has ever done, ever. Especially in comic books. There's a lot of guys that are really good that have emulated him and gone on, you know, we could list them all. But let me back up what I'm talking about.
Well, his hair, the way he did hair, I mean, dark hair, obviously. His blonde hair he would leave open like he did there, but that's
look how delicate these lines are. And okay, look at the lines on his pants, how washed out those lines are. So when he did feathering, and we've talked about this, he diluted his ink with water. The bold stuff is nice and dark. Look at the sleeves and stuff, nice and dark. Look, I mean, even all the feathering on this jacket, it's all like half-toned. That produces in black. You don't see it half-tone in the comic. You only see it in the original. Look how delicate this stuff is. It's crazy delicate. All this feathering on this car is just, it's like hair thin. And you could just barely see it blown up. When you shrink it down to normal size, it just reads as a gray tone. And that's, you know, that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, it's remarkable that he's getting that light of a touch with a brush.
And I've done a few Frazetta recreations, and that's always the hardest part for me, is that how delicate his brushing he was. Look at this stuff. Look at the hair. It's just, it's glossamer. It's angel hair. I mean, it's
Look at the hair on the arms. Look at that in the hands. And
yeah, but just the rendering, just how delicate it is, and then he uses that same soft touch with the hair on
look
his
at those
head.
Dan Lawless hands there in the
Yeah. But this Johnny Comet stuff, if you guys out there, gals, you get a chance to study the original art. You go to auction houses, they have great reproduction of his stuff. That's where you get it. In the books, it's a crapshoot, but you're looking at, like heritage auctions.
Mm-hmm.
Even this panel here with the car, very basic car. It's accurate, very basic. But when you start looking at all the background and the textures, very Hal Foster.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The textures are just crazy good. And that's what separates, the boys from the men. That's what makes work professional, is when you have that technique. And he's capturing these textures just with brush technique, using different techniques on the different surfaces.
Yep.
Let's get away from Johnny Comet.
Look at that.
Crazy, crazy, crazy good. I mean, I can't even. And I think the blue here and there he's planning on zip-a-toning some of this. And
did you get this off?
Wisely decided not to do it. Look at this beast here in the foreground. The detail on that you would not see in the cover. It wouldn't reproduce very well. Look how Kevin Nolan that looks like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Guess who Kevin swiped this from?
Let's not use the swipe word. Let's say it was in.
Okay, borrow it.
Learned.
Yeah.
How about learned?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody learns, something from somebody.
Right.
And
but yeah, you can see
even though like the hair, little tiny
yep.
fuzz. I mean, it's just this all here looks like a wash. It's not. It's delicate feathering. And then this stuff bolder up here, but look how it's like Wrightson type feathering. It's controlled spontaneity.
Yeah. Yes.
And there's only a couple of guys that can do that. Only a couple.
Well, you look at, you can, like you said, you can see modern or more modern than Frazetta artists that were influenced by him. And you can see, Wrightson stuff that he got from this. You said Kevin Nolan's another good example of guy who looked at Frazetta a lot. Even Mignola and how he spots his black. He doesn't feather like that, but he used Frazetta as an inspiration for spotting blacks, which is kind of what he's known for. And Dave Stevens, of course, was heavily influenced by Frazetta. And these, like this Kubla Khan portfolio, this is what this is from. It was 1974, 75.
Yeah, that blew me away. Yeah, so this is years later from the Flash Gordon stuff, years later. But you can still see he's using that same, not as great reproduction, but he's using that same, technique of diluting his ink. And you see here, like gray fading into black.
Mm-hmm. Which
all the feathering on this leg.
Shadow.
Yeah, all the feathering on this leg, gray. Bold stuff, black. So he had to have a couple of bottles of different vintages of ink that he worked with. Look at this leg. How gray that is.
He did such a good job of creating volume with his blacks.
Yeah.
His black placement.
Yeah, his textures are just insane.
Yeah.
But you look at it, this is really, really loose.
Yeah.
When you blow it up. Look at the feathering on this axe, this cross hatching. How tight that is. And this is all brush. You see just how many techniques he's using with the same tool.
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay, let's see. Should show one more.
I've got line work too, so if you want to.
Okay, just one more of these. Let's see. Let me blow this one panel up.
Look at the faces on some of these like supporting characters.
This guy here,
yeah.
I mean, just no one has even come close to this kind of mastery. Not even close.
Dan, share us some stuff.
Okay. Well,
Since we're talking about line work.
I've got something there. Can you share?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, Dan, bring it up. Duh, that's my job. Oh yeah, the romance stuff. This stuff is so...
Oh yeah, I was looking for some of this, a good reproduction of some of this, and I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, the Russ Cochran book is okay, but you know, it's about, I think, the best you can do for reproduction, but it's not.
Yeah.
But just the drawing, you know, you talk about the inking. Look at this. Look at that.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say the same thing. The background. Yeah, her bedroom, her boudoir is very decorated very interestingly. What is that sculpture below her elbow?
I know the guy. It's like he's got pointed ears and he's got his hand in his. It's like, where would you get that statue? I want one.
Yeah, me too.
But look at the faces. Look at the guy with the cigarette dropping out of his mouth. Look how good that face is.
I know.
And then he's,
and then came the Liefelds, which destroyed comics.
Yeah, that's Frazetta's adding the Dave Stevens, Betty Page, sheen on that dress.
Yep. Look at that dude's face. Go down, Dan, to the panel there on the left. As you're looking at it, that actor's face that went, I'm afraid I won't be able to rehearse tonight, Mac. This is the dumbest story. He's like,
yeah, it is.
He's trying to hit on him and he's like too nervous. He can't be around her. I'm like, come on, dude.
He's too much of a dork. Yeah.
Yeah. But look at that face. Oh, it's so good. And the dude standing next to him, the director or whatever.
Yeah.
Just awesome.
Well, I mean, he goes from realism to cartoony in the same, characters.
Right. Yeah.
But it's still all believable. It's not.
Yeah.
He uses that to his advantage.
Yes.
Yeah, all of these are so great.
Oh. It's like there's so many you just want to go, let's look at that. Let's look at that. Let's look at that.
Yeah.
It's like,
tough to draw those angles too. I mean,
yeah. And the posturing of the it's just so like the director there. I mean, this high angle shot, it's so good that it makes me mad when I see stuff like that and I go, why don't I do that when I do an up angle? It's just like you gotta think about the acting, and
but it's everything. Look at just the shoes. I mean, the shoes are incredible. Yeah, they got character. They're not just real. This is where just AI stuff will never work because that's not just a shoe that you would photograph. He put a character in that shoe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that shoe there, her shoes, everything's got character in every single line and movement. And
well, it's like even these dancers, they've got dancer legs.
Yep.
They're not, just showgirl legs. These are dancer legs.
And look how they're standing. They're standing correctly, for how dancers casually stand around.
Right.
And look at this director's hand with all the.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Yeah.
Let me grab hang on. Let me grab
Lawless hand.
Yeah, exactly. Internet guy for $10. Thank you, Internet guy. He says, great show. Appreciate you all. Well, we appreciate you being here. Thank you, guys. I know I'm not interacting with you guys as much in the chat, but we're so focused on Frank. It's
I know. I'm sorry. We really
got to ride the wave. We got to ride the Frank Frazetta wave.
You know how many artists have I'm just going to say swiped this alligator.
I know, it's so, the funny thing is it looks like an alligator, but it ain't an accurate alligator. It's a Frazetta lizard alligator,
Well, this is the interesting thing is he had his background in animation and cartooniness. So he was able to take a realistic image of a alligator apply that cartooniness and make it and put it all together in a way that was, it had everything. It had the the expression, the exaggerations, but the realism of a photograph.
Yeah, I mean, I would never draw a crocodile without using reference because I wouldn't be ballsy enough to do it. I wouldn't be able to think I could pull it off. And he's just like, he's just winging that.
And then who would ever
alligator at that angle where you see the girth of this beast? It's not a profile.
Okay, and then now who would ever, after you did this wonderful drawing of Tarzan, distracted by doing a curly Q water design?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be like, well, I'm not going to do anything to pull attention away from Tarzan, but he was a master. He knew what to do. He knew to do that.
I could see his thought process where he starts with the water, the black pattern around the gator, and he brings it down near Tarzan, and like, okay, how should I finish this up?
Yeah. So it's like this nice little design.
Was it an afterthought? Was it an afterthought? Was it planned? I don't know. Whatever it was it's one. This is where people.
Yeah, I'm guessing that it's just choices that he makes during this process.
That's what I would.
He's able to make the correct choice every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no, this is why so many people have said that Frazetta transcends comic art into actual expressionistic art. Like he really was a true fine artist, that you could, his stuff belongs in a museum, belongs. Yep. It's a crime that there's not, this stuff isn't, in the Metropolitan Museum of Art or something, that kind of thing.
Ghost GU says it's almost like the shadow ensnares him like he's caught in the beast's trap.
Very astute.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay, next one is
that's a Women of the Ages portfolio. That's
got a lot of young men.
I was kind of disappointed in that portfolio. Women of the Ages.
Was that 1977?
Because that came out at the same time as the Kubla Khan portfolio.
Well, no, Kubla Khan came out in 75. Kubla Khan came out, so it was 2 years prior. So he did the Lord
both at the same time, and
you got them both the same. Okay, but he did Lord of the Rings, then he did Kubla Khan, then he did Women of the Ages, and I was the same way. I was like, I just wanted more, I don't know, heroic sort of adventure sort of illustrations, and these are, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at the portfolio, but it's not one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, there's still Frazetta, but there's like less storytelling, and this.
I thought
kind of whimsical.
I saw this when I'm like 16, 17.
Oh,
and I'm like,
enough said.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Isn't it funny how very few times you get somebody that like defines like a certain thing? Like you could say, that's a, art. I can't think of another example, but the Frazetta girl, right? That's a thing.
Yeah.
These are Frazetta girls for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, just the contrast.
Yeah, I can picture young Dan.
Wait, Dan, wait, Gary, hang on.
16, thinking, this is Frank is illustrating me like whisking the Thompson twins away.
Exactly. All right, Dan.
Well, okay. Besides just the the dying kind of thing aspect of it, it is a magnificent display of masculinity versus femininity. His back is so incredibly strong and dark and hard, and it's just so tough and badass. And the girls are so soft and voluptuous and just beautiful. It's like it's such a contrast. Of course, this thing is completely politically incorrect, obviously, but it's magnificent.
The two things, so this is kind of odd, but I love the way he does the flowing material. Like it almost, like coming off the girls there, that little whatever that is. Because
you can almost hear the flapping sound, like a kung fu movie with the
there's weight to it, there's a thickness to, and their hair. I love the way he does.
Oh, the hair is fantastic.
Just
design in itself,
Yeah. But it's not like overly tight. It's just this loose, but it's like you know, when you do stuff like that and you do it loose, it can get kind of messy and it loses its personality. His is just the opposite. It's super loose and yet it has so much personality and it looks so correct, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, would any of us
again,
be doing, would you be doing flowing hair on characters if it wasn't for Frazetta? I mean, I constantly have characters, especially women with their hair blowing in the wind, even if there's no wind, just because it looks cool, because I got it from Frazetta.
Absolutely, yeah. And you look at the Wrightson, you know, what Wrightson gathered from this is where you can start to see that you mentioned the clothing. Well, that's what Wrightson picked up so much of from Frazetta, you know. But you know, look at just her feet. How wonderfully drawn just the feet are, you know.
Yep.
They've got character, they got power, they got weight.
Yeah, that's something he didn't draw that often. Is he commonly had women standing in, you know, like shallow water,
right?
And so
we all do.
We finally see Frazetta feet. It's like they're perfect.
Of course.
Yeah, when he does draw them, he shows you that he really can draw them.
Yeah.
Nude
here
women
is the
Smash.
This is the creme de la creme. I mean, it's probably you know, when it comes to his line art. Is there anything greater than this image, Gary? I mean, Gary, you know more than anybody else because trying to reproduce this sucker, how extraordinary this is.
Yeah, I did it twice. My only gripe with this composition is because of the helmets on our heroes, it makes them look like children. Because it makes their heads look bigger in proportion to their bodies. Well, but that's, I mean, a helmet will do that. It makes your head look bigger. And so to me, they look like little kids.
He did do that on several of these Buck Rogers covers where the heads were like really enormous, but it just never really bothered me. I just kind of looked at it as kind of a Frazetta quirk because, I don't know. I just love.
Well, if he would have made their heads smaller, it would have looked weird because it would not have been accurate. I mean, this is accurate. It's just because of helmets is almost another layer on top of your head.
Right.
And little kids have big heads compared to their bodies, and so that's what it reminds me of. But I'm nitpicking. I mean, come on. I am absolutely.
Didn't we come to the conclusion that he got this machinery from Wally Wood because Wood did this before Frazetta?
We've talked about that on Who Swiped from Who.
Right.
And I think we decided that he came up with this stuff first.
No, I think we thought, but then because this is the first time we saw him do this was on these. And Wood had something published in 49 or 50 before this that had that stuff in it.
Okay.
So it appears that he got it from Wood, which is interesting.
But his is a lot more. His is a lot more sophisticated. Wood's tech was simplified, but it's the same. Same. I don't know, Russian automaton science, whatever you want to call this. I don't know what you would call it. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm thinking that they probably got it from each other and then they just kind of refined it on their own.
These guys were all working in similar styles at this time, right? This sort of illustrative style that they, probably got from the Flash Gordon artist. Help me out.
Right.
And they could have got it from industrial design as well. There was a lot of industrial design.
And Al Williamson did it. Who else?
But Williamson was late. He was a young kid when these guys were doing this stuff.
Right. Yeah.
It was.
Gary, have you seen the original on this?
You mean the actual original or good reproduction of it?
Alex Raymond, thank you, Wolverine. Appreciate it. That's what I was trying to say. Was
Alex Raymond.
And Hal Foster.
You were talking about
Hal Foster didn't do crap like this.
No, I've seen I've got a scan of the original, but no, I've not seen the actual.
Well,
because you were talking earlier about the line work of this, and I'm just thinking the line work on that leg. It's got to be something. I'm sure this picture here is not picking it up.
No, this is not.
The thing that really I love so much about Frazetta's figure work is the weightiness. You feel like you go out and you could grab. pardon the expression, you could grab that guy or that girl's thigh and squeeze it. You know what I
No,
mean?
I think it has a lot to do with his placement of blacks, and that's one of the reasons that I really like Wally Wood. Is Wood did the same thing. He just
Wood
had a way of placing blacks on figures that really gave it solid. It's not just some whimsical thing floating through a panel. It's anchored.
Right, but Wood could be a little bit more stiffer in his poses.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Where Frazetta was more naturalistic, and that's the one thing I've always looked for, and that's why I'm such a big Chuck Jones fan, is because he's able to bring a three-dimensional weightiness to his characters, and that you can go really super stylized, like say like Jim Lee or that type of thing, where it comes off a lot of times as very flat. Where this that was the goal, right? Originally was to make a two-dimensional image feel like a three-dimensional experience. And I think that Frazetta was the first guy to really pull, and Wood, was right in there at the same period of time to pull that. And of course, their precursors, Alex Raymond and Hal Foster, did it really well too.
Well, if you look at those figures, if you removed all the feathering and detail that just left basic line work and the blacks, it would still work.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes. All the other stuff is just sprinkles.
And this is the cover. If you go and buy, from a comic collector standpoint, if you go and buy these famous funny Buck Rogers covers, and I have 2 of them, this is by far and away the most expensive one. I've seen it as high as 50 grand for like a 9.0 copy. I mean, it's just crazy expensive.
But there's so many things in the background that we skim over. The detail. Okay, zoom in.
I want to talk just about
right there.
This.
No, I mean
this bit
near his knee. Just can you blow it up even more?
It won't. It's not a good reproduction.
Okay, well you see like the wires at the bottom of that circle door.
Yes.
The wires, how he doesn't draw the wire, he only drops in the shadow of the wire.
Yes, that's exactly. I was just going to say that.
Okay. Lines on the wire, but he's not drawing 2 lines to show the wire. He's only indicating the wires by the black placement. Dan, he does that kind of thing. Yeah, he does that kind of thing over the entire background, and that takes, believe me, of me recreating this. It takes a lot more work than drawing a contour of the object and then filling in the detail. He's inking up to the object.
Yes.
And that's a lot harder.
Gary, I was going to say this tube on the side here just blows me away. It's got white dropout for the edges of it. It's got black underneath.
So he's just inking. He's just inking the shadow of the saucer part and leaving the rest of it open, and that creates the edge of it. And then after doing that, he drops in this really delicate feathering in between the saucers.
Exactly. And that's what just it sings. All of a sudden it looks like it's it's like that material that's stretching. It's like almost like a plastic or something. Fantastic stuff. And then he does ellipses down here, which you think, oh, that's just an ellipse. That's perfectly drawn ellipse.
Yeah,
it's so difficult.
Yeah, it's really complicated. Very complicated.
And what he's doing here, the dropouts, right? Rather than drawing every single line, what I found in my backgrounds is I kept going, why do my backgrounds look like coloring book art? And when you take a look at this stuff, it's that dropping out of, you don't have to have every line that suddenly makes it feel more real. And it's funny that you don't think, because you as artists you want to draw everything, right?
Right.
But
I mean, that's the saying. Using lines and blacks to define a shape based on just like inking up to something and stopping.
Right, and let the light define.
Yeah, and he makes his own rules. So if you look at the light source of the drop shadow, let's say of those pipes that are like at a 45-degree angle, and you see the shadow of the pipe on the wall, and then in between the next girder, the whole background is black.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd the light go?
Yes.
And then the following girder, it goes back to the previous where we see the light.
Yep.
You know, so it's like, wait a minute, how does that work? It doesn't matter because it looks so freaking cool.
Yep. Yep. That's the one thing I get. Sometimes I get so caught up in, well, if the light source is here or here, then it needs to be the same way over here. And you don't have to do that.
Yeah, I do exactly the same thing.
And he's just like free forming, going, I'm doing whatever I want because I think it looks good. And I'm putting blacks here because it needs to be here. And I'm leaving this white because it needs to be white. And I don't care if
it's all
physics
about,
are right or not.
Composition and depth. And, you know, that's what he's thinking about. Not, well, the light source isn't consistent. You know, he's.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And we could just talk about
go ahead,
the
Dan.
design of the piece. The design of the piece itself, the whole thing.
Yeah, I know.
How the guys, how that porthole frames this guy, and then this other secondary, I mean, well, I guess primary guy, he's framed by it as well, and the girl fits into his sort of thing. And the whole thing is just it's outstanding design. It's just incredible. He's got the black placements in the exact spots you'd want it just to carry this image and this feel. It's incredible, you know.
Yeah, and it's like just thinking about reality in terms of storytelling. If that Flash Gordon or Buck Rogers, whoever he is, Buck Rogers, I think.
Yes,
Buck Rogers. Was me, there would be a little brown, liquidy patch underneath, you know, in between my legs. But I'm in this rocket ship and I see this guy, you know, striding into my domain.
Yeah, a little pee trickle trail there on the map.
That would be brown. It wouldn't be yellow.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And then this character himself, almost all black except for the eyes.
Yeah,
and the leg,
and one a little, just part of the leg, and that's all we need. We don't need to
more than that, though, Gary. The design of it now, he's got this incredible black shape, which makes a great design, and it's 10 times better than if he had actually rendered this character perfectly realistically, you know, in full light.
Well, I mean, if this creature, let's say this is a story, I don't think this was a story. It's just a cover he came up with, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
If this was a story,
how come you're
and this creature appears in the comic, it would be a reveal if you showed the creature on the cover. So
I think it's. Don't you think it's more of a design choice?
Gary,
don't you think it's more of a design choice, though, that we want our focus on Buck and the girl, and so you put a shadow on him, and that your eye, he's there as menacing, this unknown menace, but you're focusing on Buck Rogers and the girl because he's not drawing your attention with all a bunch of detail.
Yep.
And yet he's got all that hair and stuff coming off him. So you get a pretty good, you can use your imagination to get a pretty good idea what this thing looks like.
Oh, sure. In fact, it's good to not know. It's part of the fun of it. You know?
Mm-hmm. God, it's so good.
Why are we?
I don't know.
You guys hearing
that? It's what we do on this. I'm not hearing anything. It's what we do on this show. We have bad technology, Dan. That's what makes this thing great.
And so am I.
I can't hear you guys echoing.
We've had this problem before.
It didn't do it at first. Now it's doing it now.
Well, I think sometimes when you share your windows, it does that. I don't know why, but it's a StreamYard thing where sometimes your windows are open and it causes echo. Let me.
I kind of want to show this.
Okay.
Now this is very famous, and I thought this is going to be a little opportunity for me to show off and stuff because this is the original coloring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I took it and I said I got to fix this, and that's my coloring over it. What do you think? Red?
I think your coloring makes sense, but I think the red makes the cover from a comic book standpoint pop and go. Oh,
you still like it? Okay.
And yeah, you kind of wrecked the texture of the duotone.
Yeah, Dan, what are you doing?
Yeah, I sometimes I do that.
And you've also blackened out the stars.
What the heck are you up to, Dan?
Yeah, I did. Well, I thought I was
I
going to
like-
win.
I
But,
like your
just forget
figure.
it.
Your figure coloring. Your figure coloring is much better.
Yes.
Forget I even said anything. I'm insulted.
Yeah,
All right,
the
whatever.
coloring
Okay.
on those figures are no good at all. Yours is much better.
Yeah, I mean, you've
All right,
got
good.
you've got
Saved it.
them kind of behind the mist or the fog of the glass there, and but then again, it's like he looks more human. So it depends on what you're going for. Having him green makes him more alien, that he would be maybe able to withstand standing on their ship. I mean, you got to ask yourself, how did this even happen? You know, how did we get to this point in the story?
Exactly.
You know?
How that geezer. You're not in a spacesuit.
When I looked at the black and white, I thought that what I see is what it didn't look like a green alien to me, and so this is me taking a look at the black and white and saying, I got to color this in the way I think Frazetta would want it colored. But so yeah, I mean, I think it's somewhat successful, except for the the other stuff.
Well, hey,
I'm
even
guessing
if
Frank
nobody likes
did
it
not
and
color
you
it.
like it, that's all that matters. No,
I
it's
guess I made it more painterly.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. It's more of a, if you were doing an illustration, this is probably more, your version is more what you'd want to see. But the Red Planet back there always made this as a comic book cover. Just I could see it from across the room, Okay. And so I always, I never.
See, you're one of those editors who everybody was saying saying, "Oh, well, I can see it better." No, you want it to be beautiful art. See the composition though, how it gets lost. The guy gets lost.
Well, he's too dark because he's dark green and the red is a very dark color.
Yeah. So I thought that looked. I mean, that was a beautifully drawn moon. I thought it's got to be a moon, and actually, like the moon, kind of, and that's why I saw it.
Yeah, but if I inked this and I saw your colors, I'd be pissed.
Really?
Okay. Because
you cover up a lot of detail, or you eliminate a lot of detail.
That's true. There is a lot.
True. Now that I think about it, I really did get rid of that.
Well, you turned it more into a painting than a line illustration that's colored.
Right,
you turned it more into a painting.
All right. Okay. Everybody's a critic.
No. I didn't say I liked it. I'm just saying it. But as a painting illustration, yours is better.
Yes, I agree.
Cover
as an illustration, yes, as an illustration, Dan, yours is much better.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I also agree with you guys. I mean, I totally agree with you guys, but Okay, what do we got? What are we going to next?
Well, there's a couple.
It would be fun.
Gollum Wolf. Yeah, I'm gonna tell Dan what I really
think. There's still a couple black and white pieces I want to look at, and then we'll move on to some more color.
Can we just do a little show and tell portion here, but maybe a bit of a break? Maybe after the black and white, because I got some things I want to just show, actual things here.
Yeah. Okay. I want to show. I got one other piece that's black and white I want to show, and then we'll do that.
Yeah, this is also one of my favorite.
Yeah, it's excellent.
Black and white pieces that he did. I recreated this one. I think it's in my art book.
Well, just the power and energy of the guy. What are those things called? Ring wraith. Leaning forward. It's just.
It's like the king of the Nazgul. I think that's
whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, I mean, you look at this and I think, good night, sister.
But only a woman can kill him, I guess, right? No man can kill him. Only a chick can, or whatever.
She's a lot hotter than I thought when I read the stories.
Yeah. But look at her hair again. Look at how the personality her hair has to it.
Well, yeah, and plus again, his design element in the armor, in the weapons, in the jewelry, just all that stuff. Crazy good. I mean, that dragon on that guy's helmet and just.
Yeah, and it's still really loose. It's a really loose piece of artwork, but it's everything is there, and the figure work and everything, it just has such weight to it. Yeah. Just a great, powerful piece.
And there's a tree branch on the ground with the patented moss.
Yep, there it is, which I steal quite often. All right, now I've got to show this because I remember seeing this. You guys remember, I'll do this real quick and then go to the black and white piece. But of course, you remember these books, right? And I want to say that the Fantastic Art of Frank Frazetta may be the first time I saw Frazetta with a name to it and really sort of understood.
Yeah.
These were great. And
I've got all those books, and at some point I'll probably put them up on Gary's bargain book.
How could you do that?
I know, but I just don't look at them anymore because the images have been reprinted so many times in other books.
True. These have a lot of nice black and white images in them, along with all the painted color too, which was kind of cool. But I think I got this.
I took mine apart. But punched holes in each one of them and
really. In a so you have like easy access,
right?
Made his own little notebook of Frazetta work. I got that
scribbled on the cover in crayon. Dan's property, do not touch.
Yeah, with his phone number on there. Fantastic Art of Frank Frazetta, the book 1. I got this for Christmas, and it was just thrilling to me. I think I was. This was 75.
Hold it. Your parents bought you for Christmas when you were a kid. How old were you?
I was 11 when this came
11 out. Book 1, Fantastic Art of Frank Frazetta for Christmas.
Let me explain. My mom was a huge pinup fan, loved George Petty and stuff growing up. And this kind of stuff, she didn't look at it and go, oh my gosh, it's destroying my son's mind. She knew I wanted to be an artist. She knew this guy was like one of my favorite artists. And that's all she, that's how she saw it. And so it was never like, oh, I'm getting porn for my son or something.
Is it too late for your mom to adopt me? Is that ship sailed?
Maybe just a hair. But yeah, she was very supportive. And I would draw like nude chicks, and she would go, yeah, make their waist thinner, the shoulders are too broad,
Aaron, how many times have I told you? Your waists are too thick.
That's right. He looks like she looks like a man, and it was never like, oh, Aaron, don't be drawing nude. She was always like, draw it better. If you're going to draw it better. Okay. So where is that? Oh, here it is. This was in that book, and this was a tryout page for, I don't know if it was a comic strip. I think it was.
Are you talking about the Flash Gordon pencils?
Remember this one, this chick?
Oh, okay.
Look at that water. Look at the rocks and stuff.
Yeah.
Zoom in a little bit, can you?
I don't know how it'll hold up, but I'll give it a shot here.
Yeah, I've seriously thought about recreating this page.
Oh, you're out of your mind.
Well, that's why I haven't done it.
It kind of breaking up, but look at the detail on the rocks.
Yeah.
Look at that water back there. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And her figure work and he's like, this was a tryout for an adventure strip that he was trying to sell, and they're like, nah.
No, you're not interested.
How could you see this and go, yeah, I don't really think so. Oh, look at
the panel where in the middle panel on the right. It's just little tiny figure of her weeping. 95% of it is this, shoreline scene of this crazy rock and those seagulls.
Yeah.
And the ocean crashing. That's just like, yeah, I want to draw a dramatic ocean scene. You know how hard it is to pencil and ink crashing waves? It's much easier to do that in color. To do that with lines.
Dude, I can't tell you how many times I've referenced this piece when I'm thinking about, I got to draw water. How am I going to do it? Just
how he captured the movement of those waves.
Mm-hmm. This is a terrible reproduction, but
I don't think I've ever
page
seen a really good reproduction of this.
Oh man,
you have
look at that figure too. Look at that figure. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, so
but
good.
just the shapes, the design of this. He's not just drawing rocks. He's like creating atmosphere.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just a regular old desert island, It's like you're just waiting for the dinosaurs to come out and eat her, Like, look at those
I wonder who
rocks.
has this piece.
I don't know, but
And that the bottom right panel where she's inside the cave and we see this like shards of light coming in. Again, doing that with line work is really difficult because you're doing really soft edges and you're doing several different gray tones to be able to pull that off.
Love this piece. I just remember seeing this piece in that book and just freaking out.
Yeah.
11-year-old. Anyway, all right, Dan, you wanted to do
okay. I got a tube here.
Wait a minute
with
now.
something talking about high school.
Yeah.
First painting I ever did.
Uh-oh. Oh, look at you. Oh my gosh, that's pretty good. How old were you when you did that?
Oh, I don't know. It's not that good, but 16, 17, I don't know.
Dude, for 16, that's really good.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know what happened to you, but because you showed such at an early age.
That's downhill from there.
It's a big piece.
That's very ambitious.
Yeah, look at that.
Is that, what did you say that is? Acrylic?
It's acrylic, yeah.
That's so cool.
That's one of my favorite paintings, even though there's not a lot going on, because that's one of the first Conan stories I read.
Yeah, I have that on my list
collection.
My favorite Frazetta paintings. That's like top 10.
But it's kind of funny that we talk about being a Frazetta fan. This is pretty much the first painting I ever tried, and I just went big. I went all in, and I'm like, I'm doing a Frazetta.
Well, and you did a pretty darn good job, I got to tell you, man.
Yeah.
I didn't just do some little piecey that I did.
Creative Face says Dan peaked in high school.
Oh no. And another thing that I wanted to show is this is the first Frazetta I ever saw. It is.
I love that one too.
This is what's left of this book.
Just read it to death.
This is the first. I was in my grade school, library. We had to pick a book. You have to go. Pick a book out for reading.
So that's a library book.
It's a library book.
Dan? Wow.
Here, wait a second.
Wow, Dan's like the library police, man. They're going to become.
Yeah. So how much do you owe that school now in back?
St. Joan of Arc, St. Clair Shores, Michigan.
I love that you still have that book.
I know. And you're
this is the thing that I saw. The first thing that I ever saw for Frazetta from across the room. I said, "Wow, that is so cool." So I checked it out. I never checked it back in, and I probably checked it out like 5 times.
I borrowed my cousin's Conan paperbacks, but I did return them.
And then this is the one I actually went out and bought. And the next one, this one I took a little better care of it, obviously, but
yeah, because you paid for that one. The other one you stole. So what is it?
It just shows you the difference: communism and capitalism. But I, of course, this is, I just thought this was incredible. I still remember reading this and then getting at the end of it and it had a list of there's more stories or something. It had a list of other books, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I went out and I, for the first time ever, I bought a book and read it.
Speaking of stealing.
Okay.
I swiped a Robert E. Howard Conan short story word for word and turned it in as my English writing assignment in junior high.
I think that's called plagiarism, Gary.
And I got a C+. I didn't change a single letter.
Oh my gosh!
And I got a C+.
Well, did they know you?
Go ahead, Dan.
They didn't know you swiped it?
No.
Wow.
No one had heard of Robert E. Howard back then. You know, that reminds me, do you guys ever see Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield, where he's this rich guy and he goes back to college, you know, to help his son or whatever, and he hires Kurt Vonnegut to write a paper about Kurt Vonnegut for him, and he ended up getting like a C on it or something, and he was it was pretty funny.
Yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, hey, I did that too.
Well, I still have some of my Frazetta books. I'm not going to bring them all out, but I did want to take a moment and share some of my, I'll go through these relatively quickly, but not really, some of my favorite Frazetta pieces from a variety of different sources. You guys may remember this. When he was getting into his, he did like covers for early creepy magazines.
Oh, I love this piece. It's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys have the same experience that we discovered Frazetta because of his Conan paintings?
Yeah.
And then we're just, you know, like in some bookstore or comic book shop, and we see a comic book cover or a magazine with Frazetta on it, and we recognize the style immediately, and we're like, oh.
Well,
that experience of seeing Frazetta doing other things, you know, like bringing into our world of horror comics or you know, Warren or whatever, was just like the ultimate, you know, geek out for me as a comic book art aficionado. I mean, it was just, I would just lose it every time I would see something Frazetta doing something like this.
Did you guys get, I mean, obsessive? Like I was obsessive with Wrightson and Frazetta. Like every time I saw something they did, I had to have it. I had to buy it. It didn't matter what it was, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, for me, Gary, was the Conan, of course, as I mentioned there. And then, so I collected those. I went to the store and bookstore and bought those, read them. I love the Robert E. Howard stories. And then in high school, it's probably about the same time, really, a year or two after that I was exposed to those Frazetta books that Aaron just displayed. Those, so that's when I got a full dose, and I said, "Oh my gosh, this guy's been doing a lot of stuff," and it just blew my mind. Everything. I was just, fantasy. After that, I was just completely a fantasy nut.
Yeah, it changed your perspective when you went to the paperback rack, something that really isn't a thing now. But when we were kids, we'd go into the bookstore and they just had a wall of paperbacks, James Bama's Doc Savage covers.
Right.
There was some Boris covers, some good ones.
Yep.
And the Frazetta stuff. And you were just like,
yeah. Now, even like the Neil Adams Tarzan stuff, I was like, that.
Yes. Yeah, I remember those too. Like, it was about the same period of time too, the mid 70s.
Is there anything like that out there now for today's generation where some kid will be in some, I don't know, bookstore
online, I don't know,
something, and they're just like uttering, grunting noises because they can't verbalize, how happy they are.
We'd go to the mall and my parents would just, as a little kid, drop me off at the bookstore, and I would stay in there. If they were there an hour and a half, I was in that bookstore for an hour and a half just looking at this stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just
so is there a modern day equivalent to that experience?
I don't know if there is. I mean, that's one of the good things about
that overwhelmingly mesmerizing.
I don't know.
Gary, I think that has been replaced by video games. I think it's been replaced by
video games and video games, I guess. Now, this came out in 1980, I think. It was 80. And Frazetta had sort of it was the 70s, and most of his good stuff was in the 60s and early 70s. And then, bam, 1980 comes, and this is I love this painting. I love the color, that red back there in the sky, the ice, and this portfolio I really like too, because it's all pencil drawings for production work for the movie.
Yeah,
and really,
and this
cool
painting stuff. is shift in style. It's not as impressionistic. It's tighter.
Yeah, but it's still Frazetta, right? It's like
Right.
you still recognize it a mile away. And this was the movie poster art, which, you know,
Look how many
brilliant.
colors are in it, though. We're talking, you got the red flaming sky, you got a real true blue on the mountains. Then he's got green in the front on the floor, you know, the ground. Just, you know, so it's very colorful, but it doesn't seem that way. You know, when you look at it, first off, you're not like, oh, it's a garish color. No, it's not. It's blended in a wonderful color palette. It just seems to work perfectly.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because he uses oils, because oils mix really well. You know, they blend nicely.
But you could make the same argument, I guess, with Frazetta. I remember talking to when oh dear Lord. Who's the famous Monsters of Filmland cover artist?
That master who does those,
the funky colors and stuff.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Crying out loud! I can't believe I can't think of his name. But I mean, I knew the guy. But anyway, it was either his daughter, someone was repping him, and she was talking about him. We were at breakfast about how he should really be considered a fine artist for the way he. Not an illustrator, but a fine artist because of the way that he did the color and all this different things that he did. Basil Gogos, thank you. And the same thing can be true of Frazetta. If you look at the color, this is not what you would consider a standard illustrator's color palette. You know what I mean? He's got everything in there, and I love how this like caveman sort of blends into the rock back here, but then there's just enough highlights.
I know.
You can see him kind of emerging from the shadow. And it's crazy.
I've been looking at a lot of N.C. Wyeth illustrations lately. Robin Hood and, you know, classic stories that he illustrated. And his palette was very muted.
Yes.
He would use bright colors sparingly. He would never do anything like this.
Right.
And the illustration at that time was all kind of doing that same thing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I guess there's a style. Maybe, you know, Frazetta was influenced a little bit by the
Brandywine school of illustration.
But Frazetta definitely, I mean, he had some muted ones he did, but he used color so effectively.
Yeah. I had forgotten, now looking at this painting, my cousins also had the Muckraker books.
The Mucker.
Well. The Mucker. Yeah. They had two of them.
Yeah, there was the Mucker and Return of the Mucker.
Right. They had those, and so I got that.
Those feather muckers.
Yeah. My mom, if I said I remember her seeing this painting, go, "What's this?" I go, "That's the Mucker." She goes, "What did you just say?" But look at that red belt on that bandito or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, the Mucker was just a modern day Conan.
Yeah,
he just, you know, got into trouble.
Yep,
and didn't take any guff from anybody. Kind of like Dan.
Yeah, exactly, just like Dan.
What?
Got into trouble and didn't take any guff.
But this is one of my
sound like me at all, man.
This is one of my favorite Frazetta paintings, and I love the action in it. I
actually feel sorry for the Mexican dude.
Oh yeah, and it's so rich, you know. The color in this is the flesh tones and even the background. It's just so rich and bold. And
it's a wonderful shaped design. It's a
another great
black
design.
Yeah,
great design. And let's see what else we got here. We can't talk about Frazetta without talking about.
Shoot, I had
created
a long time.
Oh yeah, Death Dealers. These series.
There we go.
The paintings are just so fantastic.
Look at how that red light, that kicker light, is coming in on him to fill in those shadows from that just a little burst of red in the background, and then he picks it up on the Death Dealer. So effective.
Yeah.
So very little of this is tight. It's incredible, really.
Yeah.
The tight is on the helmet, on the necklace, on you know and just his arms and a little bit of his legs in an axe. But that is it. The rest of this thing is so dang loose. You know, I would love to see an original. I got to go to one of these museums, either Pennsylvania or the.
You're not that far from the Pennsylvania one, Dan.
Pretty far. 8 hours away.
Okay, that's not that far. If there was a
Okay.
Frazetta movie,
Pretty far.
Dan, you drive 8 hours, you get a motel, you spend the night, you spend all day at the museum, and then you drive back the next day.
yeah. If
Yeah,
there
You
was
would
I may do
remember
that.
that trip, Dan. You would remember that trip for the rest of your life.
if there was a Frazetta museum
Well,
in San Francisco,
I may go
would
to
drive
Garden.
down to it.
I may go to Garden State, Comic-Con, and that's probably pretty close. We drove probably
Do it.
driving
You
past.
got to do it.
Are they going to have Frazetta originals there?
No, I'm just saying. Well, if I
don't
go to
think
Garden State, I
so.
might be driving in that direction. You know,
Yeah, he's going to be in New Jersey, so he could. That's close.
I'll
way
be passing
close
through
to it.
Pennsylvania.
Okay, well, add a day to your trip.
There you go. You got to go, and you got to take pictures and share with us.
I did that when I was living in New York, trying to break into comics. Drove up to, I can't remember the name of the town that Norman Rockwell lived in.
Oh yeah.
There's a museum there.
Yep, I've been in it.
Yeah, and that's like an all day drive to get up there. But boy, is it worth it!
Mhm.
You go through Sleepy Hollow. I mean, it's in that area.
Wow.
Look
I
at
did
the
see.
color
I did see
in
the. You guys see the traveling exhibit of Norman Rockwell? It came through through Detroit, and I was emotionally moved. Looking at these paintings, it was like I'm never like really moved by
But
art.
this was like a town the
Incredible.
town that he lived in, and a lot of people that residents of that town that still live there were subjects in his paintings.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Look
Incredible.
at the freaking color in this painting. Are you kidding me? I love this painting.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here.
I mean,
Kinda
there's
looks like-
literally every color you could imagine is in this painting. It just explodes.
Anybody who's tried to draw a horse, oh my gosh, they're so
That's an
difficult 'cause
impossible.
you can't relate to them. Like when you're
angle.
drawing something that you like a guy or something swinging an axe, you can feel that, but you can't feel that with a horse. A horse is such a strange anatomy, but he seemed to understand it or something.
Yeah.
Because actually,
this is
people,
like-
I've
I
had
was gonna
people
say,
say
this is
that
like
his
Frazetta-
horses aren't very good or something or accurate. I'm like, oh, but that's okay,
That's not the point. This is a Frazetta
Yeah.
horse, just like that was a Frazetta alligator. It was, I mean,
Right.
they're like Clydesdales on steroids,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Beautiful.
incredible.
So anyway, those are my two favorite Death Dealer.
What about the
paintings.
one where he's just standing there?
The original one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. I'm just look at. There's there's probably like 5 Frazetta paintings that I'm kind of like on, but trying to pick you can't pick them all, you guys. Come on now. Now, how
All
about
right,
this
well, I'm
one?
gonna
This one, I don't know why, but this is such a 70s painting, and I just love it.
Oh, that is great. Yeah. Again,
With
this
the
is,
polar bear.
could be one of my favorites. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I think you nailed it, Aaron. I think this is kind of hippie.
Well, it's like rock and roll. That's like somebody from Foghat or somebody posed for it,
Yeah.
But it's so good. I love it so much. This should have been an album cover if it wasn't, and it may have been. I don't know if Molly Hatchet or somebody used this as an album cover, but they should have.
Somebody used it for something. You got it.
The idea of this Nordic guy being pulled on a sled by polar bears is just crazy.
It's like a Viking ski-doo.
Yeah.
It's so freaking cool.
I mean, this is an image. If there was a poster, like, and you were a kid in the 70s, you would have this poster on your wall because it says rock and roll 70s, and yet it's just so cool at the same time. So, and I love that blue. I just love the blue in this.
I love his arm, the bicep and tricep. And then of course the face, again, just a black and white dropout. There's hardly any detail on that face.
Yep.
Which you fill your eye fills it in.
Dan, you bring up a good point. Frazetta triceps are the best.
Well, and what's interesting about this is the guy's got dark brown hair in a Nordic environment. You'd expect him to be a blonde Viking guy, but he isn't. And I like the fact that it sort of was like not expected. It's like such
There's a
great
backstory
contrast.
to this, right? I mean, it's
don't
like
know.
a L. Ron Hubbard.
Is it? I have no idea.
I don't know, but I think there's a backstory to this. So this is a specific character.
Oh, okay.
And that's the world, the technology, and it's the world he lives in. So this is not, from what I'm remembering, this is not based on a, Nordic
right
mythology. It's like
dark-haired
science
people,
fiction, fantasy, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, look at the
Dark-haired
mountain back
people
here just floating in the sky. Isn't that awesome? How he just, and then he uses it like kind of fog around here to kind of cover up the rest of the mountain. But I really love this piece.
That the way the hair is like sticking to the blood, the sort
Yeah,
of
that was
blood
really,
kind of-
that's really just interesting choices he made here. Now we talked about the Buck Rogers covers, but this may be my favorite.
Before you go on, Aaron, Dragon Fist clears that up.
Dragon Fist. Oh, it was for a Michael Moorcock story. It was in the Eternal Champion series, like Elric. Oh, okay.
See, there you go.
All right. So it was a specific
it had to
character.
be I mean, somebody put it on a book cover somewhere. You know it.
This was originally the last Buck Rogers cover, and for some reason they either went out of business or they rejected it. And you're like, what?
Yeah. I never figured out why they didn't use it. It's because it's the best one.
Yeah. And he took this course to Gaines over at EC, and he said, yeah, we'll use it. Take the helmet off. And this is how they published it. This is one of the comics I want to get my hands on. This cover's awesome. But here's here's what it originally looked like as a Buck Rogers cover, where he has the Buck Rogers space helmet on. So this was the original piece for Buck Rogers, and they rejected it. And so then he took, I don't know, he probably did a patch, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And patched, took the helmet off him and just gave him some hair.
Yeah, the original art is shown up at Heritage. We'll see here at the bottom of it when it's sold. So
I think I prefer it in black and white.
Yeah, me too. I think, in my opinion, this is the greatest piece of comic art ever executed.
I wouldn't argue with you on that. This is
I would argue with that a little bit, because although it's fantastically done and drawn in every way, I don't think the composition is it like, I think think that guy with the coming through the porthole, that to me it would be better design than this. But in every other category, this is fantastic,
I love it. I don't know. I don't think you know what you're talking about, Dan. I'm going to boot you off the show. Look at that club, that gnarly Presenta tree club.
The textures in this are just crazy. And again, I'm talking through a portal, speaking of portals, of having recreated this. And so I've studied every single line and trying to mimic his mastery of inking, which, didn't come close. And so being able to see his textures up close and, literally studying every line, I don't think anyone has ever come close to anything like this before.
It's just nuts. I love it. So, but anyway, I wanted to share that. I got a couple more, and then we'll do a little freeform and get out of here. But this is also one of my favorites, and I don't know. I'll bring your Conan piece up here when I'm done, Dan. So
I think Frazetta is on the record that was also his famous favorite black and white piece.
Yeah, that is great. That's pulled up as one of my favorites too now. Yeah. I love this piece. It's quintessential comic horror.
Yeah, this is the book cover to Tales from the Crypt, the book. There's like a paperback. I think I have it over there someplace. And
do you know the year of this one?
Well, it's 1964 on the gravestone. So I'm going to assume that that's when it was the first printing was.
64 is when he painted this, because it has more of a modern vibe to it, like, late 70s.
It does. Just the color, I think. Like, look at all the colors on that gravestone. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like that's what pisses me off about myself is I just wouldn't think to do that.
Yeah. What other color should I add to this old gravestone in this creepy graveyard? I know, pink.
Yeah, they won't be expecting that. No, I really like this piece, and
It's fantastic.
This was for sale
Absolutely
too.
Wonderful.
One of his auctions. I can't remember if it sold or not, or what the asking price, but I can't imagine. This when you get to favorite Conan pieces, this is one of my top 2 right here. I think Gary referenced it earlier.
Yeah.
This is such a ambitious piece for Frazetta. He usually didn't do a lot of ones with this many characters in it,
Well,
And
if he did Conan on top of a pile, usually you could not really tell what was going on in that pile.
Right. Yeah.
It was more impressionistic. He's painting every little thing here.
Yep. Yeah, this is just magnificent.
Yeah.
Now this paint is interesting. This paint is interesting to me because I mean I love it, of course, but you see the guy at the very bottom, in the middle, face down.
Yeah.
He swiped that character from a classic painting. It's the only figure in this painting that I don't like. But
the one that he
swiped.
Actual
painting. He took got that figure right there. That bottom middle figure.
Because it's not that important of a figure. It's weird that he would do that.
It's the one that's the least well done. He should have done his own thing, and he didn't.
Yeah. And this guy, why does this guy not have any pants on right here? Why is he in this?
Some of them, the guy in the foreground doesn't either. He's got some, weird.
Well, it was the 70s, and mooning was popular.
Well, on most of Frank's barbarian paintings, there's cheek real estate. I mean, that's kind of his trademark.
I was just like, I would never go into battle without some pants on.
I would layer my loins with.
Yeah, I'd gird up my loins for sure. Exactly. But anyway, I love that painting. I just think that's dynamite. And then, of course, we already referenced this because Dan showed us. But just the blazing red in this.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so good.
Freaking awesome.
And look at like Conan's face, man. It's just like he's just like possessed. It's like, don't mess with that dude. He looks scarier than the ape.
Yeah. And just the shoulder muscles. This is one of the things when I'm illustrating like muscles and shoulder muscles or whatever, arm muscles, it doesn't have to be perfectly accurate. It's got imperfections in that musculature that gives it body and weight and realism that that's beyond realism. It's it's surreal in a sense.
It's hyper realism.
And I always loved how Frazetta illustrated action heroes at their like maximum frenzy.
Yeah.
And he's done this a couple of times. Here's an example. There's one World War II painting where a guy's the soldier is holding his dead buddy and he's blazing away with a machine gun and he's got the same, gritted teeth expression.
Yeah. It's Blazing Combat #4 from Foreign Magazines.
Yep. But he's done that a few times, and that's always trying to draw that expression is not easy. Just because of the lips curled back and
and the kind of the bugged out
intensity, the intensity.
Now check this out. If you look at this, follow my cursor here. Look at the detail here, and then it just disappeared. Look at the foot isn't even finished. The
like doesn't look finished.
Yeah. Nobody cares because this is what we're supposed to be looking at.
Yeah.
And he really understood that. Where we always get caught up in every little detail and oh my gosh, I got to make sure that foot's right, and no one should be looking at Conan's foot. You should be right here, and that's where your eyes are. and it's just killer stuff right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I think back of when I tried to tackle this, I had no concept of everything you're talking about right now. I just I was just trying to duplicate it, and like all I knew was cool, and I was trying to make it happen, and I didn't think about anything like his expression and his color usage. I just just didn't register. But now I can fully appreciate the greatness of the piece. It's incredible,
Yeah, dynamite. Okay, that's all I got for my favorite Frazetta paintings. Dan, I know you've got. What do we got?
We're gonna do like a grand finale here. I'm gonna go blast through these.
Like the fireworks, the last fireworks show.
Okay, this is always one of my favorites. Very loose. I mean, incredibly loose.
This is early.
It says Halloween to me. The orange and black, and then of course the design is fantastic. You can't beat it. Look at that. The paint, they just globbing that paint on there. What the heck is that? But somehow this thing just works.
Again, I have to fault Frazetta on his realism here. There's no patch of brown liquid, on the ground.
Surrounded by all these werewolves and
because he knows.
There's your face, Gary. By the way, that
yeah, that's true. That's me.
Look at this quote. Gollum Wolf says, "I'm definitely an ass man. It blows my mind. Talk about simple shapes. Two very simplistic curves. It's so dumb, but they are fascinating as hell." Frank Frazetta.
Is he gay?
Yep.
No.
All right, this one is fantastic. This is the original that they remember he repainted over it and kind of ruined it.
Yep.
But this guy here is that wizard.
Conan is too big. It's like he's farther in front of the stabbing guy, but I still love this piece. That girl's body, the light on it.
Well, that's another example. Because he's wearing a helmet, it makes his head even, that much bigger.
Yeah. But another thing, okay, this is all that stuff you said is correct there, but think about this is being printed for a magazine cover. When your heads are too small, you don't see the faces anymore. Sometimes even when I'm drawing on live, I'll draw, and I'll make the heads accidentally a little bit too large because I'm trying to see it. I'm trying to have enough room to see it and to make detail,
So yeah, that's the funny thing. We sit here and make these sort of like criticisms, right, of people's art and Frazetta. And I bet you if you'd asked him, he'd probably would say that exact same thing. I want to make his head bigger because that's more important that you notice it when you first see it than later trying to calculate the perspective and say, well, he's too far forward or whatever, he's too big or whatever. So
yeah, like the same thing with with the Buck Rogers pieces, where remember he's coming from a school of Jack Davis, Wally Wood, where they had these sort of almost caricatures. Remember all of his movie poster stuff? Kind of was that same vein,
Yeah.
You notice that the necklace. Could you go back?
Oops, sorry. I had to go. I'm sorry, I kind of deleted that one.
Oh, okay.
I'd have to go back and find it. Talk about this one while I find the other one.
Never mind. It's not that important.
Okay. Let's keep we got a lot to go. I got a lot here. This one, of course.
Hang on a second. Henry Jeremick corrected me. It's Blazing Combat #1, not #4. Number 4 has the Panzer tank on it. Number 1 has the guy holding his buddy. Yeah. But anyway.
But just I tried to draw that face of the guy, and I maybe drew it and erased it at least 10 times, and I just couldn't get it. And part of it is that face on that soldier is really simple. It's just super impressionistic. There's not a lot of detail. It's almost like a cartoon, and he captures the expression just with color, not with line.
Yes.
Yeah.
This
now, moving on to this one, I think I would say I'll make the claim that this is the best painting of a leopard ever by anybody. It is so powerful. It is so awesome. It's got so rich. It's a beautiful shape. It's you can just feel that fur. You can know what it feels like that and the he's the mouth, the way it's intense and ready to fight. I mean, that is just so freaking perfectly cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you beat it? How do you beat it? Okay.
Now his cats are something else. Lions and
stuff. He had a way of putting the reader in the shoes of the hero,
Yes.
where we're looking at the threat and going, uh-oh.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna keep moving. Okay. Of course, you saw this one.
Yep.
Very famous. How many people put this on the side of their van? You know, how many vans? How many vans had this on the airbrushed onto their motorcycle or van?
If you look at that horse, he's using.
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
He's using.
Did he use Clydesdales as war horses?
Yeah. But he uses. Look at how thin that paint is. It's like he's almost like doing oil washes.
So you can see some of the pencils.
Yeah, it's interesting. And sometimes he'd lay the paint on really thick, and other times he'd just do it really, really thin.
Yep.
Outlaw of Torn. Yep, I remember that one. I love this one, the Carson of Venus.
I know.
I like
you dabbled with this one, Dan.
Right.
I love the body language of the dude in the boat. It's like, oh,
it is so, oh shit is what he's thinking. He's got this little dinghy with a little sail and this freaking monster's popping out of the water. But and anybody who's interested, I did try to recreate this live. You can go check my YouTube channel, and the one thing I always didn't totally love was that black background. So I tried changing it. A lot of times I'll do an experiment when I'm doing a recreation. I don't want to do exact recreation. I'm just, trying things out. So I redid the monster and I redid the background, but I kept the guy the same. It was okay, but it was a lot of fun though. I tell you what, it was a real challenge, but I actually did its painting, recreated its painting live, and you can see it on my YouTube channel. So
yeah, it's a cool, cool video.
I like the black back there because it's so menacing. It's like you're in the middle of the ocean and there's nowhere to go. It's just
even if
out there.
Even if you remove that lizard creature, whatever it is, and just picture yourself naked in that little boat with those waves, you're in deep trouble.
Yep, on Venus.
Exactly. Yeah, and then now add this,
Yeah, it doesn't look good. Okay, magnificent.
Yeah, that was a cover for, let me think. Don't tell me.
It was that Marvel heavy metal.
Yeah. Epic,
yep. It was the first issue.
Oh, did he actually create it for Epic?
Yeah.
It was, the cover for the first issue. And I was super excited when I saw it on the stands. Boy, was I disappointed on the interiors.
Yeah, I mean,
Epic was a hit and miss. It was a hit and miss. All those anthology books were.
Scarlet had something in there that was okay.
Right, but that's the problem with anthologies is you're going to get something good and something not so good.
Yeah.
Of course, Berserker.
Another image that made it onto side of vans and.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic. That horse is. I mean. Who would even try to do a horse so warped and so twisted? Yeah. But man, does it work,
Yeah.
And
maybe that's what we need to do is just let go and quit trying to draw stuff the way it's supposed to look and start drawing it the way we want it to look,
Yeah. But he is drawing the horse's head is very well drawn. The guy's body's perfectly well. There are realistic parts of this illustration for sure,
Hey, Rand, I just shipped out your Wraith of God stuff like the other day. Saw your name come up.
Look at the color and the flames and all that. That's fantastic, man.
This is a very, very much the 70s rock and roll kind of barbarian piece too.
Yeah.
I like
another classic horror. I mean, I love this piece so much. It's just so much. It just reminds me of, being a kid and, you get on cereal boxes. Everything was kind of horror for a while there. And
I love this giant wolf head.
Yeah, Frazetta knew how to draw werewolves. That werewolf story that was in was only like 3 pages or something like that. It was too good and too short.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
look at this guy's cloak.
Wait a second, Dan. I'm gonna preempt you just for a second. There it is.
Yeah, that
creepy magazine number. Was it number
look at
1 or number
bottom
2?
panel. That's so good.
So good.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff, man.
Okay. All right. Back to Dan.
Is that one of the ones that's missing, or what's that one that's stolen and gone? Was it a Wrightson werewolf story or something? That it's a famous werewolf story that is missing.
I didn't know.
But I was going to say this guy's clothing. Oh, it's got so much weight and power and energy. Oh man.
Well, that Frazetta piece right there. The guy that's being menaced by the werewolf. That is so. You can see what Wrightson got.
Yeah, I was thinking, thinking exactly the same thing. That's so Wrightson.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here we had to do it.
Molly Hatchet, right? The album cover.
Yeah, I love this.
Oh, it's great.
And even though there's really not a lot of detail, the detail that's there really does a lot of heavy lifting. I mean, it makes the piece super rich. But you look at the background, the legs and the ground, and it's just super loose and unfinished almost.
Yeah.
How many fantasy movies and stories were inspired by this particular image? It's incredible.
That is such a great design. That Death Dealer design he came up with.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Never got turned into anything is remarkable to me.
Now there's your butts.
Yeah, but
that's the one.
That's Brack the Barbarian, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
Okay.
I love
now
that
this one. This bear butt doesn't bother me as much as that other one with the mammoth, which I don't like for some reason. I don't know.
I love his hair. Look at how thick that hair is.
I know.
And the muscles on his back and his arms.
Yeah, the muscles on his back and arms are just so good.
I mean, the whole figure.
There's your triceps. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he looks like he is gonna be having some trouble with those ladies. Stay away from those ladies, guys.
Yep.
And
but also that water. Look at the water.
I mean, it's like
water.
Frazetta was able to capture in a lot of his paintings where we see the hero confronting
evil women,
and he captures like a fight or flight pose. So this guy could either like go, attack these women or flee
or hightail it out of there. Yeah.
He's got his sword out, Gary, so he's ready for action. I don't think he's running.
Well, I mean, just that pose. It's like at the moment. That's the moment he sees them, and he hasn't decided what to do.
What am I going to do? Okay, but the question is, did he go? I'm going in naked.
Yeah,
you're going to be naked. I'm going to be naked. We're just going to go.
Well, there's a lot of things that happened to him to get to this point. This is not the beginning of this adventure, so
Yeah. Well, nobody cares, I guess. I don't know.
I do like.
What's so great about this is you just look at the colors in the reflections, the shapes.
Yeah.
In the reflections.
All
this stuff. The only really dark part of this image is his back and his figure, and her hair. But really, the whole thing is not. There's not a lot of black.
I would not want to wade barefoot in that greasy water.
No.
Yeah,
but I mean,
it almost looks beautiful. It's magically beautiful, kind of.
If you fight people naked, you're probably not worried about what you're.
That's true. That's true. He's got his trusty armbands on, though.
Yeah, that's right. It's the only clothing he has is his armbands.
Now here's this classic design.
Yeah,
I mean, it's put together
this is
so
so
well.
simple, but I've always liked this painting. I just like that kind of hunched over troll goblin thing there.
But it's also telling, and it's telling a story. That this town is about to meet this horrible creature, or it has. Looks like from the amount of victims there.
Jerry Roscoe says.
Design.
Jerry Roscoe says, I think the nudity is a nod to the Greek classical art. Their heroes and athletes often fought completely naked. No, it's true.
And if you go to any art museum, you'll see a lot of naked figures. The human body is a work of art. So, of course, you already saw this one. It's fantastic. Unbelievably great. This one I love too. Just something else.
This was one of my early Frazetta experiences.
Yeah,
I don't remember what character this is.
Despite his drawing style and his painting style and all that kind of stuff, the one thing he did, if you look at a lot of book artists, cover artists, the covers are very static. They're very posy. his were just like so full of energy, like you walk
Yeah.
right into a scene.
Yeah.
You know, you're right in the middle of something. Where a lot of
Yeah.
other just these kind of boring they were well painted, but they were just not interesting. And these are like next level interesting.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
one of the
And it's
things
not
that I
like-
always loved about this cover is that this dude has got abs till Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a ton of abs, doesn't he?
He's got a little too many abs, but that's okay.
Doesn't matter. You know the thing.
No,
is
no, I mean,
incredible
yeah, I
is-
was gonna say, well, that's one of the things I liked about it is just,
yeah,
Well,
and they're
what
colors.
was
So,
his
like, you know, you got
cover
the
too,
yellow,
do you
and it
remember?
yellow
Hang
fades
on.
to green.
Go ahead, Dan.
It's like the yellow fades to green. It's, you know, that gives you a good transition. So he's shaping with color, not just with, you know, shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
Aqua and the
That
blue.
blood
in
on the
there.
mace too is just wild. It's a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
wet, you know.
Hmm.
Freaking awesome, man.
But you can see the comic book sensibilities and how they've effectively worked into making him a great illustrator and a great book cover artist. Because these are really comic book covers that are just painted really well and put onto paperbacks. And it's funny that people did not recognize this as a formula that could really work.
Yeah, yeah. You know what's
I mean,
interesting
Boris-
too about this piece? It's the figure isn't particularly dynamic, but it somehow it does feel so much so, you know, so dynamic. You know, it's you know what I'm saying,
body is like
there's not a big
great.
twist happening in his body or anything like that. You know,
But there's energy in it, you know. There's energy in the
yes,
pose. And
that's
the,
what I'm saying. Everything he drew is
Right, right.
alive. Is what
yeah.
freaking awesome, man. Oh, this is another one. This is another one of what ones that sometimes becomes my favorite at certain times. It blew my mind when I first saw it. I just couldn't believe that look of that face, the hair, the blood, the blood on the sword is you know, it matches the color on his pants.
This was a creepy magazine cover too.
Yeah,
It seems kind of odd. It seems kind of barbaric, but I guess you got monsters on it. But that circular composition.
Yeah, I've tried to
Really
recreate the background textures and stuff like that. I think the only thing that would work is get out a canvas and do it with oils, because it's just so hard to. I just can't capture that textures. But that's that's a huge part of this. I mean, again, you guys talking about little paint. I think that's just oil washes on that background.
Yeah, that's
There's no
exactly
paint
what-
on there.
Yep.
So he just.
I'm
he just-
thinking
he just
about
looked at-
what do you think the art director who hired Frank to do this cover told him what he wanted?
Well,
'Cause
this was.
I don't think, was this an illustration to a story?
No, this was creepy magazine cover, and I'd be willing to bet that I mean I actually read the history of Warren, and I have to go back and check, but my guess is they just said do whatever you want because they wanted him on the covers.
That's what I'm thinking. That he just, Frank, we want you to do a cover for us. You know, whatever you want to do is fine.
Yep, it's a monster magazine. You know, horror stories. Keep that in mind. Go.
Yeah. Because this is so out there.
Yeah, and there's no story that I've always liked this piece, and this is
me
a
too.
later piece too.
Me
Like
too.
Now, this is one that's stolen, right? This one's gone.
oh, is it?
Nobody knows
don't
what this
know.
one is. Yeah, this is one of the ones
Was that
that
part of the
somebody-
famous backhoe incident?
No, this is before that. This one disappeared probably from the the publishers. But somewhere it exists somewhere, but nobody knows where. I don't think. Famous
So if
cane of the Golden Sea.
Yeah,
if
Kane,
it's
that's-
known to be hot, then whoever owns it cannot ever sell it.
right, or share
Right.
it.
Right.
It's like it's hanging in his basement. He's the
Well,
only
that's
one
like,
who'll ever see it.
exactly. A bittersweet acquisition.
Yep.
Yeah, somebody. This is another one that I tried to recreate online. Did a live drawing of it, and I didn't do the whole thing, but I did part of it, and I changed a couple things. But it was a lot of
Yeah, I
fun.
remember that. Yeah, yes, yeah.
Look at the
Well,
water.
challenge though.
Those videos, Dan, are very interesting. If people in the chat have not seen them, I recommend it. They're very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys
you.
check out the water in the background? It almost looks like a mountain
Oh, I'm sorry.
range. Oh, Dan.
Sorry,
I like this one too. I mean,
Yeah,
you say I
this
like
is another
the
one.
other
This-
drawing is obviously.
See this
Davy Jones
diver?
Locker.
This diver's body language is something that my grandfather used to call fizzing. He's fizzing.
I
Now
love
this guy
his arm and
he
the
should really have
hand.
he should have the shits from the something.
Yeah.
Is he naked too?
We can't tell.
Well,
Yeah, he might
yeah,
be.
can't sell it, only the arm is
I
visible, but
love that arm and hand though. And I always
that
wondered where
crappy
his other
water
leg
tank.
was in this painting. He's got
You
one
wonder
leg.
Crappy
what?
water tank. Go ahead.
I was going to say he only has one leg too. Did you notice that? I was kind of
Well,
curious about that.
it could be that
Oh,
swirl
that's like
of
tucked
mist
around
could be
the-
hiding the another leg, but
Yeah.
or they could be kind of together, like his knees are knocking. You
Yeah,
know?
I guess I'd like an
Well-
indication of the other calf or something down there though. But I do love it.
Imagine yourself as this diver. You're treasure hunting, and you see this giant pirate chest, and you think it's full, and then this dude pops out.
But wouldn't you
And
think with the
then,
human
Gary-
remains laying around it might give you
Well,
I was gonna
that's
say-
the pirates did that. Is that
Yeah.
to get rid of the witnesses to keep the location secret?
I think that's the last thing you know. Is first you see the treasure chest go, oh yeah, then this creature pops up, goes, "Argh," and then you
Yep.
notice the heads, like, oh
Dang it.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay, now this one is, you said you like that. This is the one I saw first. You know how it is when you see the image first. This is the one that I saw on the book cover, the Conan book cover. So this is my favorite.
This is the repainting,
version.
though, right?
No, this is the original.
Original. Okay.
Yeah, which I like more. I just thought that this, and actually I did a recreation of this one too, but not live. though.
jacked up his anatomy, those arms are and stuff.
I
It's
know
just wild.
the head's way too big for the body, but doesn't matter. I didn't, when I'm thinking back, looking at it as a young person, I didn't think about that. Like, oh
Yeah.
No, I didn't
man,
either.
is that cool? Because
Yep.
it's just the muscles, the tricep there in there, the arm, the muscles going over the forearms, incredible. The veins.
Yep.
Oh man, freaking crazy cool. That's it. That's my list of them, guys.
Well, that's freaking awesome. So that's the thing about doing a show on Frazetta. You could literally go all day. I mean, there's just so much stuff
I know.
to talk
Yeah,
about.
we haven't
I was-
even scratched the surface.
I was thinking, like, as we were halfway through this, I'm thinking we probably have to do a couple shows.
to do him justice. But yeah, so well, there you go, folks. That's all we're going to do for today. It's almost 5:45 in the West Coast. I want to thank my guests, Gary Martin and Dan Lawless, for coming on and talking about the great Frank Frazetta. I don't even know next week what the show will hold, but you should tune in just to find out what kind of craziness might happen next week when I change the name to Comics, Cryptids, and Cannonballs. So thank you guys for joining us. This has been the final episode of Aaron Live, and we will see you guys all. And thank you all from the chat. We appreciate you being here. You guys, even though we didn't get as much attention to you as we normally do, we appreciate you being here and making the show possible.
We
So
had
thank you all.
Frazetta. We had Frazetta goggles on.
That's right. So you guys have a great rest of your evening and a safe week ahead. And we'll see you next time right here on.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say Aaron Live, but see you next time on.
What? No, David sound
Comics,
effect?
Cryptids, and Cannonballs.
Okay.
See
We
you.
got
Mr.